Okay, says we're live.
All right, so let's just chill for just a second. Now we got a cat on here, so I'm gonna say something about that. Uh, we'll see if people can see and hear us. Let us know in the chat. I
Okay, says we're live.
according to like the other monitor I've got set up here. Chill for just a second. And it's echoing because I had two screens up.
You're not helping me.
So we don't
We don't know what
watching
happened.
right now. Yeah, we have literally no idea what happened. Basically the only audio we use at all in our intro is actually it's free non-copyrighted music that YouTube actually provides from their own library, like for the exact use that I used it in our intro. There are some other things that I don't know if it was like
I hear the yelling, honey. Um, we don't know if it was flagged and then removed, or if it was flagged by a bot for the content that we were. I don't know, honey. For the content we had said, or maybe certain words that we said. No, it wasn't me. I don't know, but there's a storm outside. Um, or the certain words that we had, some choice words that we had decided to use. I know we've used those words before, and I do know that other channels have used those words before with no issue. So I don't really see why that would be the issue, and also it would not be an issue if my daughter was in the video, because I am the consenting adult. She is my child. I am her guardian, so I do give consent and permission. Um, for that, we use no copyrighted music, no copyrighted material. There was no deceptive audio, no deceptive imagery that we haven't used before. So the pictures that I use are all fair use. They're all not copyrighted, and they are all just fine. Oh, jeez. So, and I've used them before in thumbnails. So, what? There's a bathroom right there, sweetheart.
so yeah. If we get some feedback in the chat, at least to make sure that the chat's working.
I can't even see. Yeah, I don't even see the chat. Hold on, my dog's gotta go to the bathroom. You want you see it?
Yeah, I'll play around with this. So I'm gonna send a test. Well, that popped up. Yeah, very strange. Uh, Stephen Fate says I'm here. Thanks for rejoining, Stephen. Just trying to figure out what's going on here. Hannah says it's working. Thank you very much, Hannah, for the feedback. Um, yeah, that was like Jesse was saying. That was just really strange. Well, I believe what happened, based on what we were looking into, is somebody flagged the video, and then YouTube reviewed that and determined that we had somehow violated the terms of service, but didn't tell us how. So we've changed some things about the Jesse's background is different, the title is different, the thumbnail is different. We will refrain from using certain words. So I guess that's all we can do. And if something happens now, then we know that there's a real problem, because this is as precautionary as you can possibly get to make sure that we're not doing anything wrong. And by the way, we didn't receive a strike on the channel or anything like that. So clearly it wasn't anything super serious. So which is really confusing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I know that obviously because the video was removed. I've appealed it. I'm not sure if we will get a decision. I just really want to know the reason, because if it did violate the community guidelines, I'd like to know what we did so we can better ourselves in the future and not violate the community guidelines. I'd really like to know exactly what happened. I'm still waiting for an email about that. The email I got, the only thing it says is, well, I just submitted a copyright complaint over another video that I have that someone stole.
Jesse's echoing that. I tried to fix that, Hannah. Thanks for letting me know about that. Go.
Sorry, it says, as you may know, community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow on YouTube. Your video was flagged for us to review. Upon review, we determined it violates our guidelines. So that to me tells me that someone flagged it. Not sure who, but yeah, and I don't think that it violated anything, and I don't know if that was just an error because of the content that we were talking about. However, I've seen countless other YouTube channels, especially wrestling YouTube channels, talk about the same thing, and they haven't been have their videos removed, they may be demonetized, but their streams aren't stopped and their content isn't just straight up taken down. I don't know. I think anyone that super chatted, I would check your account and see if it's been refunded. I don't know if we lost all of that. I don't know if we lost all of that revenue, which would really suck. Which would really make me mad. It makes me mad for people that super chatted who wanted to be a part of the show, that the show was now removed. So if I said anything, or if, because I make the thumbnails, if I did something in the thumbnail that was not allowed, I'd like to apologize to everybody. I feel like I let everybody down. I'll try to do better. I mean, I'd really like to know why it was taken down. Like, and if I mean, no one has the balls to come forward if they reported it, because that's kind of passive aggressive if someone reported it, unless it was a bot, which they very well may have been. Yeah, so I don't know. This is basically just like a test stream.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I just want to see if anything like
yeah,
changed so much of what like how it was set up earlier that like we just want to see like if because if there is someone out there that flagged our video, I mean I don't know why, but if I said anything that offended you or something like I apologize, but I have no idea what we did. So it's just one of these things where like if you flag this video, I'm very interested to see what happens because I don't know what we could possibly.
Don't flag it, please. Yeah.
I mean, we hope you don't, but like I don't know what we could have been doing or what we could be doing right now that could possibly be seen as violating the TOS. So.
Man, that was supposed to be a short stream too. I was like, I need to go.
Yeah.
It's like really. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was really weird. So we just wanted to come on really quick and explain what happened. It literally just stopped, and I sent Hannah a picture. I think I posted it on Twitter as well of what happened. I've reached out to a couple people with well over 1 million subscribers that I know. I've texted them both to ask what happened. What could this be? Ooh, Alexa Bliss just posted a picture of her and a boy.
Nice.
Aww. Hope she doesn't get it.
Hannah Moore says, I've had videos flagged for like nothing. They would say copyrighted content from time, and then another time it was nothing. Yeah, we don't know. I mean, that's kind of the thing. Is like, it'd be nice if the message just said like, we reviewed it, and this is just a very short description of why it was removed. Like just
Yeah.
like thumbnail or said this. It's like, oh, okay, then at least we know.
Yeah, we just want to know, and like I said, I've appealed it. I've submitted an appeal. I basically stated the same claim. So I'm checking again.
It's been such a weird week. This is like the weirdest week I've had in such a long time.
It's not a good weird. Like, I mean, some good. Okay, some good. For me, some good. Like some very, very, very good. But
yeah.
you can't talk about. But like it's been a weird week. But it's like even like adding like that into it. It's like that's why these streams are so important, especially for like the algorithm. And to have it taken down just like really sucks. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. It's weird.
Well, I feel like all we can do is just move past it. That's that. Like if it happens again, then we've covered all of our bases at this point. So like if it happens again, then I guess we got to deal with it at that point. But yeah, I mean, this is what it is. What are we gonna do about it? I mean, YouTube is a crazy place. I mean, like it's. And I'll tell you firsthand from all the experience I've had working for a YouTube channel, I can tell you firsthand, like, there has been plenty of situations where things were appealed on our end and it, and it was fixed. Like, a human looked at it and was like,
Yeah.
oh, fine. You know what I mean? Like, so it just is what what are you going to do? Unfortunately, the TOS isn't clear just in general, like to begin.
It's not clear.
Like it,
Yeah.
and it's you're basically at the mercy of an algorithm and like a he says she says type situation just constantly with not knowing. It's why a lot of big YouTube creators have considered and have left the platform and stuff. Like that's like
Yeah, gone to Storyfire and stuff.
because nobody gets answers on anything. So it's just like I'm not saying that's what we're doing. I'm just saying like
Yeah.
it's very common. So
Yeah.
NF Punk, thank you for the super chat. Says always remember
Oh,
ask. Hope you good.
thank you
Um,
so much, the NF Punk. That really means a lot. Yeah, because especially because we don't know if our our last stream was, or I mean, it said we still had revenue, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that unless like people let us know in the chat like if your money gets refunded to your accounts like just know that that's what has happened.
yeah,
And just let us know so that we know that like that we lost it. But like there's just no way we're gonna know unless you get your money refunded. I think.
yeah, and I don't know how long that will take, and I don't want people to like, I don't want people to super chat money and then thinking that they're going to get refunded, and so they just send it back and then have double. Like that's not fair.
Oh yeah, we're not trying to scam people here. Yeah.
Yeah, people work really hard for their money, and I think that you should put it to what you feel is best. And it sucks because people felt the need and felt like they wanted to do that, and it's so appreciated. And I don't know. It's just it was weird.
I can pick back up with what I was saying about CM Punk and see if we get shut down again.
No, I'm scared.
I mean, there's no. It's just my opinion on a guy being a bad
Yeah,
fighter, but he was a great pro wrestler, but a bad fighter. Huh?
I really don't think it was that. I don't think it
No,
was
either
that.
do I. That you can't. That's just straight up free speech. I'm not like threatening the guy in any way, shape, or form.
Oh,
I'm just saying because my thing is this is like with Punk just to like finish just to round up what I was saying just to put it into perspective. And I know people will disagree with me. In fact, I've had a couple of direct messages, not respectfully disagreeing with some of the stuff I said about CM Punk.
oh,
My point is this: it's I understand that professional wrestling and mixed martial arts are two very different things. There's a lot of
thank you,
huh.
NF Punk sent another super chat. He said you're welcome.
Thank you, Punk. We very much appreciate.
Anyways, I'm up here.
Obviously, they're two very different things. There are elements of crossover in a lot of different ways as well, but they are at the end of the day two very different things. And because so here like unless CM Punk changed his in ring style, his professional wrestling in ring style, maybe it would work better for me. But my issue is this: this is a guy who in the professional wrestling ring throws a lot of spinning back fists and jumping knees, and he had an Anaconda Vice submission hold, and he had a lot of kicks and stuff. Like he had a fairly MMA based style in professional wrestling before he went into MMA, but now I know what he actually looks like doing those maneuvers. Like I know what he
Yeah.
looks like when he tries to throw a spinning back fist, or when he can't defend himself in a UFC fight against the journalist. Essentially, like I've just seen it. I've seen it happen twice where he was in there and just it just I don't know. Expose isn't necessarily the right word, but it's like I can't unsee that. Like the time I see the guy doing a head kick or a spinning back fist or something in a professional wrestling ring, all I'm going to think about is like what it actually looked like when he actually fought people. So that's all I'm saying. It's just because the flip side, if it would have worked out for him, this is completely different. It was similar to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar won the UFC heavyweight title, and like clearly he was incredible at both. You know what I mean? CM Punk did it. Had he went over there and like won, even if he just went over there and won one fight, and then he came back and be like, oh okay, like there's new layers to this guy. This is awesome, and he's like even more credible than when he left. But now I'm just like, I know what it looks like when he really fights, and I can't unsee it, unfortunately.
Now say something nice about Punk as a fighter. You got 199 to say.
Hey, Calavera edits. I appreciate it. I will say something nice about him. The man has a gigantic set of balls. I will say that. The fact that he went in there and fought in the UFC at all, like on him, So everything I've said about him up to this point is fairly negative, right? But as a human being,
I'm gonna go check on Charlotte really quick. You
sure,
keep going.
yeah, as a human being, him getting in the octagon, like that takes serious balls, especially because I mean, I've been in that world for a while. I know for a fact what was happening to him in the gym at Rufus Sport in Milwaukee. What was going on when he was sparring people in the gym before he actually got in the UFC octagon. He was getting worked in the gym by very, very low level people. And so everybody knew that he stood a very, 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 very slim chance of succeeding in the UFC. But he was signed at such a large contract in such a draw, and and for the UFC it worked out. I mean, it was a smart move on their part because they did do a lot more pay-per-view buys because of him. Undoubtedly, he helped the business side of it in that respect. But everybody knew he stood no chance of beating any actual UFC fighter. He had to have known that in his mind as well. I mean, I think he's a very confident person. I think he really believes in himself. I don't think he went in there like knowing like, oh man, I'm walking my doom. But the people that were working him in the gym, like knowing these stories, it's like, and especially to be fair, the first person that CM Punk fought is a guy named Mickey Gall, who's a legitimate top 15, top 10 fighter in the UFC right now. So like that was a complete mismatch to begin with. So I can actually forget that one and write it right off. But my issue is his second fight. For those of you who don't know, the guy's name is Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, right? Shimona. Michael Jackson fought Mickey Gall for an opportunity to fight CM Punk. Mickey Gall won and destroyed CM Punk in the first round. No problem. So his second fight, they went back to the guy who had lost originally, and they found Michael Jackson again and said, who was 0-1 in the UFC because that was his only fight, and said, hey, we need to find an opponent who's worse, and there's no one on our roster who like is even a match for this guy. So so they put him against CM Punk. And this guy clowned him for 3 rounds. He had CM Punk on the ground, he was literally looking at the crowd and waving to the crowd and punching CM Punk in the face and not even looking at him. It was Dana White, it was such a clown job that Dana White publicly said that Michael Jackson would never fight in the UFC because he wouldn't take the fight seriously. He was like, he should have just went in there and starched him. Like, he went in there and he clowned him for 3 rounds, so I'm not going to bring either of them back. It was embarrassing. And it's just one of those things where, like, but knowing all of that, the fact that he still went in there twice, I've got to give him fucking serious credit for having the balls to step in the UFC octagon. I'd never do it. I think I have to give him that credit. But he had no business being in there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think so either. Speaking of UFC, how many of you guys don't want Brock back in WWE? That was Dylan. That was a super chat. Thank you so much, Dylan. I want Brock back in WWE so bad. Sorry, I love Brock Lesnar. I think that he's great. I think that people hate him because he's so good. I think he could go back to UFC, absolutely, but I think he is a little bit, I don't know, he's a little bit older. He's kind of been exposed a little bit.
His issues are that he has problems passing the USADA tests. He's always on performance enhancers that the USADA don't allow. So
I think he kind of gives WWE a little bit of like legitimacy, a little bit. I mean, Drew McIntyre's a great champion. Don't get me wrong, but I really like Brock Lesnar. I love the aura that he gets. He's a great heel. I think he's fantastic. He's one of my favorites. He's just a legitimate badass. Like, legitimately spooks me. Would not want to get on his bad side. I love him. I think he's great. I think people love to hate him. I think that's kind of it.
Yeah, he's very legitimate. He is a legitimate dual industry star. Like, the issues with Brock lie with what I was saying, where like his last UFC fight wasn't that long ago. It was only like 2 or so. It was at UFC 200, and they're currently on UFC 240 something. So it's been a couple years now. But he came in. He was the only person in the history of the UFC to. So he was a retired fighter when he was with the WWE, and when he came back into the UFC, they have something called USADA, which is it's a third party anti doping agency. It's the same people who test the Olympians, so they can test you whenever, wherever. They can show up at your house in the middle of the night, make you piss in a cup, take your hair, whatever. So like, Brock Lesnar is the only fighter ever, before or after, that did not have to complete 4 months of clean tests before he returned to the octagon. They gave him he's the only person to ever receive an exemption and just be allowed to fight because he was in a gigantic pinch. John Jones was out, who was going to main event. It was supposed to be Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz too, and that fight fell through, and they needed something. So they let Brock fight, knowing what was going on, and then he fought Mark Hunt, and he beat him. And Mark Hunt's a very good fighter. He beat Mark Hunt, and then it turned out that he had failed all of his drug tests. And then it's like, okay, so now you're suspended for the next year. So he served out his suspension, and he almost actually came back after that, and he almost fought. And so this is just to prove my point. He was in negotiations last year to fight Daniel Cormier for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. He hadn't fought in years. He was coming off of a drug test suspension. It doesn't matter. That's the level of star that Brock Lesnar is. He gets completely different treatment. He's a gigantic star. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. All I'm saying is that's the star value.
Dude is straight up alpha male dominant takes over. Everywhere he goes, he gets special treatment, except for like the NFL.
Well, see, even his NFL run, I actually had the privilege of watching him play football in person.
Yeah, that's right, you did.
When he was with the Minnesota Vikings in the preseason, they played the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta, and I went to the game. Unfortunately, what I witnessed, it was one of the funniest things. So like, because Brock wasn't a great football player, but for those of you who don't know, he hadn't played football since high school, and he was the last person cut before the roster was finalized before the season. And he was even offered to go to the Vikings European team or Canadian team, and he just decided to go into the UFC instead. But like, that's how much of a freak athlete he is. He hadn't played football since high school and almost made a professional NFL team. But what I saw, it was straight out of a cartoon where like he was up on the line, and this dude, because he only got in for a couple plays, this dude pushed Brock Lesnar to the ground and then ran.
Great. Pancaked him?
Yeah, he like ran on top of his body over it. Literally like the guy stepped on him like twice. And I was like, oh man, like I've never seen Brock get handled like that. But if it was a straight up fight, I'm sure Brock would have destroyed him. It's just football's a completely different thing. But he almost made the NFL team with like no.
There you go. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was just, and he was number 69, so
Yeah, that's of course alpha.
Alpha. What else we got going on in the chat? Demon Diva, BC is the GOAT. Any other opinion is invalid. I know you feel that way. I'm a big Brock Lesnar fan too. Regardless of some of the stuff I've just said, like I enjoy watching him in professional wrestling. I enjoy watching him in mixed martial arts. He's an attraction. He's like Paul Heyman says, he's a once in a lifetime athlete, and I like watching it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Hey, Rick Neal.
Oh, hey Rick. Sorry, I was going to say we should probably get going because I got dinner and stuff to make, but we wanted to get on here and make sure that everything's good. So. Yeah.
Oh, Greg. So tomorrow. That's tomorrow. We filmed that a while ago.
Oh.
If you want to watch, I take on Greg Cherry in the Wrestling Trivia Challenge. That'll be airing tomorrow on YouTube. So if y'all want to check that out, feel free. So yeah. Thanks everybody for like rejoining us. Obviously, we just wanted to make sure everything was like working all right, and that we weren't like that we hadn't really done anything wrong, or if we have, that we fixed it. So thanks to everyone so much.
Yes, thank you everybody. Hopefully we'll see you soon, and we won't have bad things happen. But thank you everybody again for coming back. Sorry about that. If it was me, I'm sorry.
Same here. If it was me, I'm like, I wish I knew what happened, but like,
Yeah,
I,
I hope we get an explanation. We'll
yeah,
just at least learn.
yeah. So we'll do this going forward. I don't know the next day we'll be live, but I think we'll probably try again in the next couple days. I'm a free agent, baby. I got plenty of free time right now. So I don't know. I might be. If y'all want to see me on Twitch, I mean, I can do some gaming on Twitch, like pretty much whenever. I'll play some, I don't know, UFC or WWE or something. Just let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. It's right underneath me at FightTalk_. You want to see me play some video games on Twitch the next few days? I'll set my Twitch account back up. So
Yes, Clayton.
we'll have some fun.
Yes. Join my OnlyFans. My husband just the place he works eliminated his position at his job, so he had to get demoted. So support me on my OnlyFans to help keep my family safe. OnlyFans.com/Jesse the Buckeye. Same as my Twitter handle. So yeah, that's it.
That's it.